Say what you want about The Legend of Korra. Some love it, some hate it, but the one thing that any other show can take away from this is Kuvira. Yeah, I said it, Kuvira. I don't know if I just happen to experience this a lot, but I feel like the Atla T-Law community hates the final season of Korra, and a lot more than I feel they should. Personally, I think it's the strongest season in the show overall. It's definitely not perfect and they do make mistakes, but I think that this season is able to capture the elements that I've always wanted to see in a villain, and that is being a realistic one. This is a trend I see everywhere, villains who are just evil for evilness sake. Like, think of some of the villains we see in just this universe. Ozai, Azulon, Sozin, none of them acted how a real world leader would act, even one that had bad intentions. The war literally yielded no benefit to the Fire Nation, and that's because the war really made no sense. They just wanted to dominate the world for... Then we see villains like Unalaq, who just wanted to become a dark avatar for what reason? There's no benefit to anyone, not even himself. Why, you ask, he would do this? Let me think. What about Amon? There's literally no outcome of the war against the Benders other than defeat for him. It doesn't matter what anyone says, the world leaders would have just gotten together, blockaded Republic City, and starved them out until Amon was overthrown by his own people. Because you can't say you want to exterminate all the Benders and expect the world to just stand by and watch you take it piece by piece. And don't even get me started on the Red Lotus. How is bringing chaos to the world supposed to restore the natural order? How do you even know what the natural order is? And when it comes down to it, killing the world leaders is just going to cause untold suffering and mayhem. They are literally just a group of very skilled, powerful idiots, is all I can say. Now, don't get me wrong, I think in some cases these types of villains have a place. I just wish their goals were a bit more realistic. Like, how much cooler would it have been if Zahir took down the Earth Queen and then instead of just causing chaos and leaving behind anarchy, he used that radio beacon to convert citizens into Red Lotus members and taught them how to live a spiritualistic type of religion, I guess you can call it, much how he lives. Is that not more interesting? Having him be motivated by ending class rule and making everyone more equal is just so much more compelling and would make me way more torn between both sides than just having him assassinate the queen and then peace out. And on that note, why are there any Red Lotus members? Like other members that were guarding the airbenders, do they not have families or friends that they wouldn't want living in a world where no one could survive, where anyone could come and rob them with no repercussions? What are they going to do when they get old and can't fight anymore? Starve to death because they're just going to get robbed and murdered by warlords and strongmen? This is where I see a problem. I can't imagine they are going to be committed to a goal that would not only hurt everyone in the world, but themselves too. Now let's run through Kuvira's arc. Starting as an ally to the gang who jumped into the action through a truly altruistic motivation. Like, did anyone watch this scene?
Shuyin, I know this isn't my place, but I think you should do this. Zaofu has always been a beacon of modern progress, and now you can share that with everyone.
What would you have me do? March into Ba Sing Se with an army? We'd be seen as conquerors and greeted with nothing but war.
There are already wars. The Earth Queen nearly destroyed our nation. This is our opportunity to change things.
It's not going to happen.
And think, oh yeah, she just wants to take power for herself? I truly believe that this comes from a good place and Kuvira just wanted to help stabilize the kingdom. Then what happens? Not all the states want to hand over power because they themselves want to clutch onto the increased power they have gotten because of the lack of oversight from the central government. How does Kuvira react? She resorts to the only thing she can think of, violence, to further her agenda. Why? Because she's a soldier, not a politician, and she doesn't know how to deal with non-compliant states other than violence because she was never taught how to be a political leader. And thus, she uses conquest as a motivator. And then this thinking is expanded to the treatment of her own people. You see how the slow corruption of an altruistic soldier happens? It's brilliant. Now she spends years reunited the Earth Kingdom and learns that, listen to this bullshit, foreign world leaders from other countries want to install a child to the throne of another country who they can manipulate and control. Of course, Kuvira doesn't stand for that. What would you? If this was me, I'd be like, who the fuck do you think you are? You are literally trying to make the whole Earth Kingdom, I'll let her say it,
Accept their hand-picked dictator.
even Bolin, who is played up to be this dummy, can see right through this political smoke and mirrors.
Oh, okay, so you think your new best friend in there would be a better leader than Kuvira?
Well, no, but still...
Still what? Come on, Mako, I'm making a difference out there. What are you doing, huh?
You're just some glorified butler for some snotty rich bozo.
So now the Earth Kingdom is no more, and the Earth Empire that takes its place wants to reclaim Zaofu. Listen to her reasoning.
Avatar Korra, you are interfering with internal Earth Empire business and letting your personal feelings get in the way of reason. Zaofu cannot continue to rule itself. They have been hoarding their riches and technology too long. I'm here to distribute those resources fairly throughout the nation. This is about equality.
And she's right. Look at the disparity between Zaofu and this Earth Kingdom village. And once again, Kuvira makes a really compelling argument. Why should Sue be allowed to unilaterally secede from the Earth Kingdom? You can't just claim independence and then be upset that the new leader of the country comes knocking. Think about what would happen if Boston just decided to separate after an election. You think the federal government would do anything but come knocking with a massive army? Cities don't have that legal ability, so Kuvira has a valid point in asking why Zaofu is any different from any other state that she has conquered previously. And the kicker is, it isn't. The literal only reason Zaofu is being treated differently is that Sue has friends in high places. Do you see the corruption here? And that's what makes this my favorite season. There is no 100% right side. There is evil and corruptions on both sides. Kuvira with the mistreatment of her subjects, and the world leaders with Korra trying to install a bumbling idiot figurehead that will allow them to control and shape the Earth Kingdom to their liking. Remind you of anyone? Up to this point in the season, and before we learn about the Imperial prison camps, I was totally on Kuvira's side. Even after Zaofu was taken and Kuvira turned her eyes to Republic City, although I'm less on her side now, I still see the legal challenge to that territory. So for those who don't know, after the 100-Year War, there was Fire Nation colonists still in the Earth Kingdom, and there was almost a war that broke out over it, and then Aang just decided to claim territory, Earth Kingdom territory, to form the new state, which becomes Republic City. How does this make any sense? Does it really make any sense? The Avatar can't just reshape borders as they see fit. There are whole nations that are set up the way they are. So of course Kuvira is pissed at this, and although that situation is much more nuanced, I see where she's coming from. This is so compelling and an interesting way to make the story, and the writers do not even touch on it as much as they could have. I really wish more villains were set up like this, where the motives were coming from a place where you could actually resonate with. I think that seeing the other side of an argument and being able to understand where they're coming from and then having to choose a side makes a plot even more biting and interesting, and I think this season should be getting way more credit than it has previously.